Philip Morris dips after first round loss in patent fight with Reynolds over IQOS hit not burn. So how does this concern HCMC? Okay, so well, the HCMC and Philip Morris are in a battle concerning IQOS and the same hit not burn. So according to this piece you're looking at right now from Seeking Alpha, and it was published after the market closed 5:16 p.m. May 16, 2021. So the details of this, or the points or the highlights of the whole story is that Philip Morris fell slightly in after hours trading after it lost the first round in a patent fight with BAT over IQOS technology. An American International Trade Commission judge ruled that Philip Morris and Altria infringed two patents owned by BAT's Reynolds America unit. According to a posting on the agency's website, Philip Morris and Altria are facing the risk of the blocking of IQOS importation to the US, with the ruling from the ITC, according to Bloomberg report. Philip Morris has previously said that it's not in the public's interest to keep IQOS out of the US market, even if a patent violation is found. Okay, so an investigation from the ITC is scheduled to be finished by September 15th. So this is the publication on Bloomberg. That was the same time as well when the market closed. That was when it was published, 21:22. That is British Standard Time. Okay, so we ignore that, and we can also, moving on, we can see that how does this concern HCMC? We obviously know that they are in the same battle with them, and I think one thing HCMC can assert is that Philip Morris is a violator of infringement, or rather of patents, even though that may not be enough to sway the case and all that stuff. But if it is, yes, I think HCMC can build on that case and say, yes, if they violated this, but in any case though, we don't exactly know the absolute details. So in any case though, if it violate, they might just say this may not absolutely not work. They might say, if they violated that this hit not burn, whatever it is, in their case against Reynolds, yes, indeed, they may have also violated our case. This is what HCMC's lawyers might say. But this is not to say, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't even know the absolute details in their case. So, but what is certain is that they have a case in the hit not burn case, and I think Philip Morris is trying to say there isn't any combustion in the case of HCMC, and all that stuff. So, but in any case, moving on, we obviously know that they filed their accounts, their first quarter results, and HCMC, it had a net loss of $766,000, revenue of $3.46 million, a negative, a loss of 14.4% year on year. Adjusted earnings before EBITDA loss amounted to $394,000, an improvement of 9% year on year, but still negative. Okay, so yeah, that's basically that. But moving on to the stock, we can see it closed the session of the 14th of May 2021 at $0.018, and we can see all through that week, and even before the last week, before this past week, it was trading below all of its short-term trend lines, and at some point it got some support as at the 11th of May, which was Wednesday. It was Tuesday. It got some support from its 50-day trend line, and since that time it has that was after I think it was even slightly below that 50-day trend line, and that was a day after that earnings outcomes were released. Probably the retracement came as a result of the losses and all that stuff. But after that, it continued to it got some support there, and it continued to extend upwards. You can see from this that let's see, from this chart, from this you can see that on that at the end of that session, it closed on a bullish note. You can see that this is the 1 minute candlestick. You can see all very much green here and very much green. Indeed, the stock was running up, was extending. It closed on a positive note, on a bullish note. So it closed it closed on an extension. So, but that is if that's going to be of any help to you. So moving on, we can see it has a market cap of $554.3 million. You can see that some of the oscillators, I think the RSI is trying to improve. The unbalanced volume indicator is also improving as well, but I believe the MACD histogram is below zero. 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is still oversold, but it's looking up. MACD is below the signal line. It says it appears to be correcting within a longer term bullish trend, although the MACD is presently below the signal line. Shares remain 129.7% above an upward sloping 200-day moving average, but it's outperforming the S&P 500, so that's surprising. So momentum for HCMC is strongly bearish. Yes, the 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is below 20, the level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively selling shares and driving the price lower. The volume for that session was lighter than usual. The average volume is usually 3.17 billion shares per day. Over the last 12 months, the unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. So in this case, we have two oscillators that are pointing in the same direction. The unbalanced volume indicator is indicating that there is low volume, and the unbalanced indicator is indicating that there is a lack of buying interest. The 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is indicating also that the shares have been oversold. So that's some positive if they have been oversold and there is a lack of buying interest. And we also saw some extension as well. It closed up high. Then it's good. It's good in as much as volume doesn't really say a word of things. But one thing it says is that if it's not too much, if it's not more than the usual, then if it's more than the usual, then it's just not so wonderful, because it just, amongst other things, it may indicate that they are not going to remain. The market participants who got involved in that activity or that session may have just come to play with the stock, and they may just leave it and go. But if it's just modest, in between very high and very low, then it's very much normal. It means, amongst other things, that people will remain invested, they will continue to participate and all that stuff. So an extension on a very regular volume is good, not on a volume that is not too much is very good. So HCMC closed on a bullish note, but we can also go ahead and see what's going on, what we have been able to determine. I can see that because it closed at $0.018, it is not trading within the one standard deviation range of the 10-day averages of the 10-day prices, so it's trading below that range. That is also the case with the 20-day and the 50-day. But with the 50-day, it's also just narrowly away from that range as well. So the stock itself has traded. We know that for more than 5 sessions, I believe up to 8 sessions, it was trading below those short-term trend lines, and at some point slightly dipped below the 50-day trend line. So I think that is why it is mostly the reason, why it is not trading in all of any of these ranges. They want standard deviation ranges for the 10-day and the 50-day prices. So these ranges are the sort of prices you would expect it to trade on a regular day. So the stock is definitely, in the short term, it is definitely discounted. We can see what's going on. It's definitely discounted. It's not even trading below them. So technically, in the short term, it's easily a buy. So we will go ahead and increase our position there as well in the coming session, hopefully in the next session. But we don't exactly know whether it's going to extend any further. So we just overlooked what was going on. We should have actually done so. We should have actually picked up, especially when it was right on, when it was so slightly below this 50-day trend line. So all in all, everything looks okay for HCMC. It's earnings outcomes were not super wonderful. Let's put it down to the fact that the pandemic hasn't really left all of us. It's still that was the outcomes of the past, and that was during the pandemic, I guess, when a lot of lockdowns were around and all that stuff. So hopefully we expect that the financials will improve and all that stuff, going forward. So if you think if this is going to be if this case concerning Philip Morris and Reynolds is a positive for you, see what you make out of it. Okay. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, like, and share if you're already a subscriber. Thank you very much for watching this video.